Hey everyone, I'm Everyday Buddy Fighter, and a couple of cards were leaked for Korokoro and introduced a new Darkness Dragon with archetype, the Demon Dragon. Not a very creative name, but let's see how this deck functions. The ace of the deck appears to be Eradication Demon Dragon Belial. You pay 3 gauge to call it. It's a size 3, 13, critical of 3. This card on your field cannot be destroyed. When returned to the hand, and this critical cannot be reduced by your opponent's card effects. Note that you can still nullify its abilities, so gotta be careful about that. If your life is 1, this card gets Penetrate, and its critical becomes 666. And that's a pretty edgy effect, but it also has move and triple attack, so obviously this is the most aggressive card you'll have. If your life points are 1, then you're probably going to kill your opponent because you can just keep attacking with this one card, and of course the card has Penetrate. You could probably deal 666 damage. I don't think anyone's actually living through that. Of course, this card isn't broken since you can easily rest it or nullify its ability, so that it won't work. Also revealed was Jealousy Demon Dragon Envy, another Demon Dragon size 3. You pay 2 gauge and put the top card of your deck into the soul. If you have 6 or less life, reduce the size of this card by 3. So obviously this deck functions around having low life. During your opponent's turn, choose a monster item on your opponent's field, and you can pay a gauge. If you do, you draw a card, nullify the chosen card's effects, and rest it, and then if your life is 1, that card cannot stand, and its ability can only be activated once per turn. It also has move, double attack, and soul guard, so another card to help with your aggressive abilities. Demon Dragon Terror is a hand trap. If there's another Demon Dragon on your field, you can choose the 2 cards of your opponent's field, reduce their power by 10,000. Obviously, this is used with Belial, since Belial has 13,000 defense. Most cards don't have higher than 23,000 attack, so you kind of really just protects yourself, and also closer your life is 1. Reduce crit by 3 just in case. Of course, in a deck where your life is 1, you're going to be like, man, I'm going to get burnt out by something, so obviously the item does help with this. Black Parasol of Eternal Darkness, Umbral. Put 2 Demon Dragon from your drop zone into the soul and pay 2 gauge. If you do not take damage from card effects, and if your life is 1, this card gets power 10,000 and critical of 2, already has 3,001. When this card attacks, drop 1 of your opponent's gauge. Then if your life is 1, you draw a card and your opponent drops a hand card. It has double attack and soul guard, so obviously if you hit your life to 1 and equip this item, you're not going to take any damage from your opponent's ability, so your opponent won't just like meme you out. Having a life of 1 always kind of leaves you on edge, but also means you don't take damage from Penetrate, so that's pretty cool too. Negative Survive is a spell card, your only defense spell so far. You may only cast this card during your opponent's turn if you have a Demon Dragon on your field. You pay 2 gauge to cast. For this turn, when your life would become 0, it becomes 1 instead. And you can only cast this card once per fight. Obviously, if it's once per fight, you're not playing this at 4. You're going to play this at a couple. But honestly, just living through a turn is always a good thing to have, so it's not really bad. It's just not really great either. Finally, the impact. Eradicate Avenge. You can only cast a card. Your cards are attacked 2 or more times during the turn, obviously to prevent FTKs. And if you have a Demon Dragon on the field, pay 2 gauge. Choose a Demon Dragon on your field and deal damage equal to crit. So with Belial, you do 666 damage. Most people won't be living through that. No one gets to 666 life, so that's pretty much an insta kill. Then again, you can nullify the effect damage from happening, or just, that's pretty much all you got. But for the most part, if you play this card, you will definitely win the game. Well, I mean, if your life is 1. So it's kind of one of those comeback cards, obviously. Why, hence the term Avenge in the card. My overall thoughts on this archetype are that it's weird. Honestly, it is very weird. Having a deck functioning around a life point 1 is kind of just like super risky, and honestly, I do prefer more aggressive Darkness Dragon World decks. I do like that instead of all the meme decks we've been getting lately with just, alternate win conditions. I do prefer a deck like this, but of course there is kind of just an uphill battle that you have to go through. But of course, there are interesting cards you can take in to make your win conditions faster. You can play Death to Stray to set your life to 3 and draw a bunch of cards. Of course, with your life being low, you can always play Time Sale. And of course, to help protect yourself, you can play Sunken Seabed Ruins, because you do have to pay life to play this card. And it is a Black Dragon set, meaning you can play Overthrow Abigail in this deck too, along with Overturn Daredevil, which prevents you from dying for the most part. So that is pretty much my impression of the Demon Dragon archetype. It's interesting start, honestly. I do prefer a more aggressive deck, so I feel like I'm not going to give this one a hard time, but it is very risky to say the least. So with that, I'm Everyday Buddy Fighter, and I will see you later.